Acey!
Field trials bring together enthusiasts, allowing them to share experiences and learn from one another. The stories teach us the value of collaboration between dogs and their handlers. On December 1st, 2014, at Pyramid State Park in Illinois, a wintry, wet, and icy wind greeted the competitors. Among more than 100 of the nation's finest English Springer Spaniels stood a black and white female whose focus and drive never wavered. Her name was Acey.
Mark Nix gave me the opportunity, a pick of the litter from a breeding out of a pup I had sold him a few years earlier. It was his first Springer. She was a highly intelligent little female with high prey drive and an incredible nose, just like her Grand Am Stormy out of NAFC AFC Hope's Nitro Charger.
Fetch the bird, show the way. Stay close, now don't stray. Steady pace, heed my call. Good girl, give your all.
He offered this to me after I lost the mother of his pup while out hunting. She was hit by a truck carelessly driving through the park where we were hunting. He told me he would breed to whatever sire I wanted. There was only one sire I wanted a pup from. That was two-time national champion Beggar Bush Clipper. I had seen him run a 5th series at a national a few years earlier, and I was smitten. Acey was a wonderful dog to train, but she had some issues. She hated to make mistakes. I had to be careful early on to not handle too much, but let her get confident in her own abilities. That quickly changed to Acey becoming a very confident dog in the field, and now the issue was keeping her reined in. I needed to convince her I was there to help her get the birds. I was convinced putting negative pressure on her would backfire. She became a very confident dog in the field. A confident dog knows what she is supposed to do, but can forget that she is part of a team. The new problem, keeping her reined in. When dogs become confident, they start to think they don't need you. After not making it to the 3rd series in several trials in a row, I sat on a picnic bench after a 2nd series, wondering what to do. She ran out of control through her first 2 series. I knew there would be no 3rd series for us once again. One of the guys saw me sitting there, said, "Danelle, you've been in this game a long time. Why don't you get yourself a big, dumb male?" It was a tempting thought. But for now I had Acey. I already had her qualified for this year's National Amateur. I needed to figure out how to get through to her.
A Springer Spaniel Field Trial is a sporting event designed to test what these dogs were originally bred to do: find and flush game birds for a hunter in the field. Instead of live hunting, the trial uses planted birds under controlled conditions, and each dog works in turn across a course of cover such as grass, brush, or crops. The dog's job is to quarter the ground, using nose and instinct to locate birds, then to flush the bird boldly into the air so a gun can be fired. After the shot, the dog must mark where the bird falls and retrieve it promptly and gently to hand. Judges score each dog on several qualities: style and enthusiasm, how thoroughly and efficiently it covers the ground, the strength of its nose, the courage and control it shows on the flush, and the accuracy and speed of its retrieve. They also evaluate obedience and steadiness, whether the dog remains under control and responsive to the handler at all times. At the end of the day, placements go to the dogs that show both natural hunting ability and polished training, the kind of spaniel you'd trust in the field on a real day's shoot.
It was finally time to go, the Nationals. The day before the National, we went to a training session. She was out of control as usual. She never broke. She just did her own thing out there, and my whistle fell on deaf ears. The National had begun. My special training sessions in the preceding weeks didn't seem to be having any effect. After the first series, I repeated with Acey our special training lessons. The second series went like the other, and I was becoming discouraged. I took her out again after that series to practice with her, but this time, when I cast her off, everything changed. Suddenly, we were a team. She was no longer pulling me, she was working with me in a way I never imagined. The third series was great, the fourth was better, and the fifth was pure magic. After the fifth series, I could hardly contain myself. It couldn't have been scripted any better. Everything flowed perfectly. The guns were flawless. My heart was racing. Acey covered the course perfectly, nailed her retrieves, and delivered them to hand in the most perfect manner. We made it through the land series. There was one more hurdle, the water. Instead of pheasants or chukars, they announced the test would be using ducks. Acey had never been on ducks before. I wasn't certain how it would go. That evening, I had dinner at the hotel. I sat at a table with Bill Cosgrove, who had been a mentor to me. He was running a dog named Tux, who was a grandson of my Misty. Russ Smith also was there. Both had won nationals in the past. Tom Meyer, the AKC representative, stopped by our table and had a nice long chat with Bill and Russ. When he had finished up, he turned to me and said very determinedly, "You had a very nice run." I can't remember if he said congratulations, but it was implied. Bill quickly looked my direction. He later told me he thought he had won it but hadn't seen my run with Acey. He wished he had. He and Tux ended up taking second that year behind Acey. The next morning, we all met at the water location. I found some discarded ducks and showed them to Acey. She didn't seem to care at all. It had feathers and she wanted it. The thing about the water is that it's done in cold weather, usually in December. The water is cold and the dogs have to do 2 retrieves. The first one, the dog may not realize how cold that water is, but is it willing to go back for a second retrieve? This is a great test to see if a dog's desire to retrieve is stronger than his desire is for his own comfort. The water series went off without an issue. She was steady and eagerly entered the water both times and delivered the duck to hand. We did it. We finished. Now for the agonizing wait until the placements were announced. After several hours, it was announced that the judges were on their way. We all gathered into a conference room at the hotel. The nervous excitement was more than I could stand. I had to work at keeping calm. The judges entered the room and everyone settled into their places. They thanked all the people involved in the event, then a variety of awards were announced, and then finally placements. They called the 4th place.
4th place in the National Amateur Championship, number 38 Bell. Field Champion. Amateur Field Champion. Apple Creek's Miss Liberty.
Then the 3rd place.
3rd place in the National Amateur Championship, number 43. Indy. Field Champion. Amateur Field Champion. Harvest Hunters. Indiana Jones.
That's when the big question hits. Did I totally bomb or am I placing? I think I'm going to explode. I don't know how much more of this I can take. The second place placement went to Bill Cosgrove, who had been my mentor over the years. I was happy for him, but I knew he didn't show up to take second. He came there to win.
Second place in the National Amateur Championship, number 3. Tux, Field Champion, Amateur Field Champion, Ivanhoe's Mr. Tuxedo.
Then they announced the first place and called my name. We did it.
2014 National Amateur Field Champion, number 15. Acey, Ferndale's Flying Cloud of HCR, Master Hunter, Excellent Agility Jumper, Preferred. Agility Excellent, Preferred.
We didn't unknowingly mess up and bomb out. We actually won. I could barely get my legs to work. I wasn't sure I was going to make it to the front to receive the award, but I made it. I don't remember anything that happened from that point. The drive home was a blur. It was so hard to believe that such a dream came true. Over the next year, I competed with Acey in the Open and got a 3rd place at the Tennessee trial. She qualified for the Open National. Before leaving for the National, I took her to the vet for a checkup. The vet noticed her shivering. He examined her and found her temperature to be extremely high. Next, Acey had an X-ray. They brought the film into the exam room. I said, I can't see anything. Why is that? The vet said, because she's filled up with fluid. After performing an ultrasound, the vet found a mass by her kidney. He believed it to be cancer. I told the vet about the seed issue, how sporting dogs would have a seed work its way into the body causing havoc. The vet wasn't convinced. After a few days in the ICU to control the infection, Acey had surgery to remove the mass. The mass was on the artery that served the kidney. The kidney had to be removed. Laboratory analysis showed that the mass was an abscess, not cancer. A foreign body indeed caused her problems. After she fully recovered, we were back to training. One day she went in to flush a pheasant and pulled up hard, limping on her front leg. She had torn the muscle on her shoulder. That ended her trial career. She was a great dog to have around, always polite and sometimes stubborn. She died at 15 years and 5 months on November 4th, 2025. Acey had the heart of a champion.
Steady pace, heed my call. Good girl, give your all.